So we're taking a quick look at the new Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Voyager class Soundwave, and Core class Ravage. Both these figures are sold separately. Can you believe it? Soundwave does not come with any minion. I was surprised he didn't come with a condor or a bird like a buzzsaw or Laserbeak. Instead, Ravage will be sold in this new Studio Series class called the Core class, which patterns itself after the War for Cybertron trilogy Core class figures, which are smaller figures. I guess the smallest, or next to the smallest figures in the series. So if you want both of these, you'll have to buy them separately. Now, honestly, at first glance, I absolutely love both figures. They are very, very movie accurate. They appear in the first opening minutes of the movie Bumblebee. Back on Cybertron, and Autobots were fighting the Decepticons, and Bumblebee fled. And it's so accurate. It's pretty accurate. I mean, for a mass retail product, this is as good as it gets, folks. For Soundwave, I do love the highlighted white parts that they've used. They use this toothpaste white type of plastic. I love it. I love the navy blue color they put on it. Ravage looks amazing, done in gunmetal gray and light gray and some highlights of red and white. If there were going to be a live action Soundwave that was based solely on the G1 continuity, this is how it should have been done in the first place. Kudos to Travis Knight for giving us back a bit of our childhood with this rendition of the Transformers, particularly Soundwave. He shouldn't have been a satellite or a, I don't know, a Mercedes luxury car. This is how Soundwave should have looked. Blue and white, not all gray. If you look at the figure, Soundwave figure, his proportions are amazing. He's not too bulky, he's not too lanky and thin, and you can clearly see everywhere that there are hardly any blank spaces or spaces that you feel they'd scrimp on. Even in the inner thighs of this figure, there's some detail they put on it. So Hasbro really did a number on this figure, and I absolutely love it. If they want to push this further, this figure I think will be successful if they did a movie masterpiece version of this figure. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's stop gushing and let's get to the details of this figure. So let's begin with Soundwave. I love how they've recreated almost every detail that was depicted in the movie. Like I said, proportions are great. He's got this sort of G1-esque cannon. You can remove this missile. Look at that. It's like an elongated version of his cannon. He's got a blaster rifle, which I'm not too familiar with. I don't know if this was in the movie. Maybe it was. It looked great. It's been painted in this glossy gunmetal gray. So very cool. I love the fact that his hands aren't too small. You've seen third-party companies do their own version of the Bumblebee movie Soundwave, and the hands are a little bit too small and the forearms are a little bit too big on that figure. But this one, proportion is great. If at all, if I'm going to nitpick, of course I have to nitpick. It wouldn't be a Chefatron video without some nitpicks. It's his head sculpt. His head sculpt is actually pretty amazing. It's very accurate. Lots of details. That faceplate, forehead, look at the side of the helmet, visor. Visor a little too wonky for me. Should have been a little bit thinner, but it's fine. If at all, as like I said, if I'm going to nitpick, I just feel that his neck is a little bit too thick. It feels like he's put on some pounds on Cybertron, probably living a sedentary lifestyle out there. So I wish there was a way they could have created an illusion that he had a thinner neck. That's me just nitpicking on this figure. You get to see a lot of detail here, very G1-esque chest. And if you push this button, it does reveal a compartment where a Ravage can transform and fit in there as a cube or as a box. So I thought that was pretty great. One thing they missed out on is there is no way for him to open himself up. There's no way to click on that button using the left hand. I've tried so many times. There's no way. He can't reach it. He probably just, it's probably mentally triggered, and then it opens up, something like that. So yeah, if something gets stuck inside, you can pop the back open because of transformation as well. The plastic does not feel cheap. I was surprised. I thought, given that the white looks a little too pasty, I thought it would be cheap. It's not. It actually feels pretty premium. Very thick, very solid looking figure. It is a very, very well designed, well manufactured Soundwave. In terms of articulation, the neck is on a ball joint. You get a shoulder joint right here. It goes in and out. You go forward and backward. If you lift these flaps, because of transformation, there is a way to move the shoulders to rock the arms forward and backward without really moving this swivel. Okay, there's a bicep swivel. There's double jointed elbows. The wrists, unfortunately, do not swivel. It's a flaw in the design, so because they need to do that to keep that steady for transformation. The hips do the splits amazingly well. If you lift the front skirt, you go forward and backward. Thigh swivel. And then double jointed knees. I love the fact that there's kneecaps. Cover up that knee when you articulate those legs. And I guess the ankles, they're on rocker tilts. You do hinge forward and up and down, I should say. Up and down hinges and the rocker tilt. Let's talk about Ravage for the time being. Amazingly, this piece right here, which should belong to Soundwave, does not come with Soundwave. It actually comes with Ravage. So you can connect it right here, and he's carrying this really awkward missile. I don't know why they did that. Maybe budget constraints, maybe it would blow the budget if they added this bit of plastic onto this figure, so they had to put it with Ravage, so you have no choice but to buy Ravage. Look at the detail of this figure. Absolutely gorgeous. Fits in the palm of your hand. The gray plastic kind of feels cheap, but they don't. It looks cheap when you first look at it, but when you feel it, it's pretty tough, pretty hard. He's got these rockets or laser rockets or whatever, just like G1, a little bit thinner this time. He's got his tail, he's got his spine right there, and he's got this one. I don't know if this is a radar turret or a sensor array or some more rockets. The mouth can open and close. I mean, for such a small figure, they've engineered it very, very nicely. The head can swivel up and down. All four limbs are on ball joints, I guess on the hips or on the shoulders. And then the elbows, I guess they're on, hinges. The feet, again, on hinges. The hind legs have double hinges, double knees like that. So you can really, really pose him like he's prowling or he's creeping up on somebody. For some size comparisons, here they both are with the Bumblebee movie Wheeljack, which is a deluxe class, as well as Optimus Prime, which is a Voyager class figure. And surprisingly, they are about the same height from the horns of their head to their toes. I'm actually surprised. I always believed that Optimus Prime should be about a bit taller, like a smidge taller than Soundwave, just like something like that. And for some comparisons with my other Soundwave figures, here is the G1 Soundwave, where most of these Soundwave figures are based off, and you can clearly see how much that homage they've given to that missile right there with this missile. It is a wonderful, wonderful rendition, or at least homage to that old missile. And then we have here the Siege Voyager class Soundwave. And this is obviously the Netflix Earthrise Soundwave. And boy, I am shocked to see how tall this new Soundwave is. It's much taller than these two other Voyager class figures. I'm happy that Hasbro is sort of, they've stopped shrinking their figures to a certain extent. I don't know if it's just their way of keeping things in scale, but I'm glad he's much taller than these two. Now down below, we will see the G1 Ravage. And then over here, we have the Siege Ravage. So transformation, let's begin with Ravage. I have him in this position because it's a marker that I'm using. These are the final positions of the legs that you're trying to get, I think, all four limbs into. So first thing you want to do is you want to remove the accessories, put them on back later, except for this one. This one, I guess, can stay with Soundwave. Okay, so this is the final position and position you want for the hind legs. So rotate the hind legs all the way around like 180 degrees, the hips, I suppose. Then fold up the feet like that. We'll get to that in a little while. And then the front legs, you want to fold it up like this, 90 degrees. And then you want to fold it down like this and like that, okay? Then fold the head down. The forelimbs, or the front legs, are going to tab in to those pegs right there. Very small pegs, very small holes. Okay, I'm going to stay right there. This entire hip assembly is going to swivel right there. This entire hip assembly, go ahead and swivel it down. Peg it all the way through right there. And then these rear, I guess, rear legs or rear paws are going to tab onto, there's a hole right there on the body, and they're going to tab onto there. It's a little tedious to do, but you'll get there. Okay, so that's the final position for the hind legs. And then for the front legs, you're going to want to tab them in like this, and then like this. The weapon, the accessory that was on top of his back, you can put it right there. Tail just squeezes in like this. These rocket lasers, I should say, they'll fit in nicely right here. All right, just tidy up the way the legs are folded. Just make sure they're in this position. And if you do it properly, even with the guns, Ravage should fit nicely in the chest cavity of Soundwave. Come on. Fits perfectly. On the downside, he can only fit one. So if we did have Laserbeak, no way to store both of them inside his chest. So pop him out, and then pop this back out, and then you can flip him out. If you want some comparisons, here is Earthrise or Netflix Ravage. I guess he becomes a data cube or something. I don't know, a place to store data, or just a way to store himself and, you know, piggyback or ride with Soundwave. And now for Soundwave's transformation. You can keep Ravage in, but for today's purposes, we will get rid of it. We don't want it damaged or anything like that. It is incredibly involved for such a simple transformation. Okay, so first thing you want to do, obviously you want to get rid of these accessories. Okay, fold that there. We'll use those later in alt mode. Then you want to fold the shoulders up like that. Rotate the biceps downward like that. Go ahead and open up and fold, open up the forearms and fold in the fists like that. And these pegs right here on the side of his armpits, they're going to tab in to those slots right there. So that's the purpose of these flaps right here, to allow you to hinge those arms so that they'll reach those pegs, and then tab in those arms. Okay. At this point, we're going to keep the head facing the prone position. You can rotate it if you want to, but in his official alt mode, you don't have to rotate the neck or the head. So once you've got that thing done, you do the legs. The legs, I think, are the most difficult ones. So what you want to do first is you want to rotate the thighs inward all the way like this. You can pop the crotch piece up so it just doesn't get in the way. All the way till they stop, okay? Just rotate them about 100, 110 degrees, okay, inward, just like that, okay? And then you're going to bend the knees, the double jointed knees, like this. And just before you complete bending them, you want to open up the calves. I thought this was very ingenious. They hid almost all the top parts of the vehicle in the thighs. So I'm going to open it up like this, fold out all the pieces, and then you're going to fold the entire lower leg up like that. You're going to fold the ankles or the feet this way, and then rotate the feet this way, because those slots right there underneath the feet, they're going to tab onto that peg right there. So that's what you do here. Okay. Okay, just get it ready. Okay, and then these two pieces, they're going to form sort of, I guess, the cockpit or the front part, or what appears to be the front section of the ship or the alt mode. So just fold everything and crumple those legs right there. Okay, make sure they reach, and then tab this sort of front part of the alt mode. It feels like it's a cockpit, or it's probably just a fore part of the alt mode. And then what's left is the feet. You're gonna tab them onto the forearms. Okay, there you go. And then those kneecaps, you're gonna form sort of like horns, just like that. And that's that. You can put the weapons here. Take the weapons there. You can put this one here like that. A gun or a rifle can fit right there. If you didn't already know, this Cybertronian Soundwave actually transforms into this amazing paperweight. And this is how it works. If you have some like tissue or some loose sheets, you just put him on top right there, and that's it. The figure will secure all your sheets of paper, and we can test it out. I have this high-powered industrial fan, and if you put the fan close to it, you can clearly see that those sheets of tissue, they're being kept safe by Soundwave. And that's amazing. I thought that was a very, very clever touch. And what's interesting about this paperweight is you can also flip it around and it'll still act as a paperweight. The paper sheets are not gonna flip. I'm just kidding. Okay, now kidding aside, I get it. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a Cybertronian version of the cassette tape recorder. So obviously it's not paperweight. It kind of works, you know. He could be like a communications array. These buttons right here. He could be like a Decepticon version of Teletran 1 or something that he would communicate to all the Decepticons in the field, and this is how he would do it. In the base with Megatron, he would transform into this and communicate, and he was head of communications, and I get it. I get that's what they're trying to do. And for a lot of fans who grew up with G1, it kind of works. And for those younger generation of fans, it feels like it's a ship. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. You gotta rotate this like that. Okay, that makes more sense. So it feels like it's, I guess, a communications barge on Cybertron. Like, at some angles, it kind of feels like the Wind Raider. If you watched He-Man, that huge ship that flew with those teeny tiny wings, it could pass as that, like, so yeah, I totally get what the designers were trying to do, that they were trying to make something like this functional as perhaps a barge or a ship, like, or a hover, like a hover ship, like a skiff speeder, like that. And at the same time, you get that homage of a Cybertronian, a cassette tape recorder. So I thought that was pretty great. And, you know, I said a lot of trash about, I talked trash about this alt mode. But at the end of it, I think it's a great homage to the G1 Soundwave. And so some final thoughts on this Transformers Bumblebee movie, Soundwave and Ravage. I think they're both amazing figures. I think they're well engineered, well designed, well sculpted, and I think they are fantastic attempts by Hasbro and Takara to really give us a very accurate rendition of these two characters as they appeared in the first few minutes of the movie Bumblebee. All in all, if you are a big fan of these characters, especially in G1, and you love them on the screen as how Travis Knight depicted them, you have got to pick these figures up. For mass retail figures, they are amazingly accurate, amazingly well detailed, and I cannot stop gushing about them. They're both great in their robot modes, and I cannot recommend these figures enough. Soundwave's a 10, Ravage is a 9, so both of them together, 9.5. I think they're great. Let me know in the comment section what you think of both of these figures. 3 guesses as to what my next review will be. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.